All right. It's time to talk about the Joker. There is I'm not gonna call it a movement, but there's this undercurrent, something that's kind of just out there that Jokic is somehow underappreciated, undervalued. Um, the people who can't see it, they're just casuals. It's that type of rhetoric right now surrounding Jokic. And I don't personally see that at all. Um, there's this the first person I really saw do this uh, of note was Bomani Jones. And I don't know if it was last year or the year before. Um, he started this kick talking about like Jokic is cold, man, and people just don't get it. They don't see it. This dude's cold, right? And just it always felt like a weak, contrived take um, to try to find the edge case where there is a dominant white guy and he's undervalued or he's underappreciated, right? And so he started beating this drum, and it's kind of like, who are you talking about? Who are you pushing back against? Who are these people who can't see what Jokic is doing, right? And I mean, to me, it's a straw man because I see a lot of people give Jokic their flowers, but there's a limit to the praise, and people are acting like for some reason he deserves more praise than he's getting, and it's not going to happen. Um, it's not because he's European. It's not because he's white. It's not because he has doughy, pasty arms, right? None of that stuff matters. None of that stuff matters really at all. Uh, him being white is a benefit, not a detriment. So this idea that somehow uh, American white writers are discounting him because if he's white, it's ridiculous, right? Full stop. It's ridiculous. Then there's this idea that he's European, that's why he's not getting any love, right? And it's Giannis got a movie out, a Disney movie. He got a signature shoe. Luca got a Jordan brand deal, right? He's loved over here. So I don't buy this as he's a European. So he just that's such an old take that hasn't been real in like 10 years. Um, ever since Dirk's chip, it's been he Europeans have been accepted. Dirk's chip was the last like nail in the coffin for the whole deal. So what is really going on right now with Jokic, and why are some people claim he's underrated, and why aren't people just going nuts about what he's doing? And for the most part, people are going nuts about what he's doing, right? But again, there's limits to this. And what happened over the past 2 decades to the way that we talk about regular season basketball and individual statistical achievements? What has changed in the last 2 decades about that discourse? I'm gonna kill suspense. LeBron James happened. LeBron James came with unbelievable hype that there was no way he could live up to it. And to put in perspective, the hype for him was so great that today his biggest detractors simply call him top five. And those are the ones who are just off reservation. The ones who are a little bit more honest about things, he's not top five. He's top two. He's just not Jordan, right? But somehow, him not being Jordan is good enough to slam him for not getting it done, for being disappointment, right? Some people are trying to get that take off the ground. But as we saw the rise of LeBron, You saw the cottage industry that came sprung up around him for trying to diminish what he's been doing, right? And the first thing is uh regular season, doing the playoffs, doing the finals, get a ring. And so a young LeBron in Cleveland who was dominant, putting up historical numbers for a person of his age, and it gets faded because he doesn't have the playoff success. And if you were a LeBron hater, the playoffs was the last refuge for you to get your hateful bars off. That was it. That's all you had left was the playoffs. And then it was just rings. So these people are in the media, beat this drum continually about it's just regular season. He can't do it in the playoffs. And speaking of Dirk, let's bring it full circle. After he lost to Dirk, it got even bigger, or people were talking about we don't care about the regular season. Go look at LeBron's numbers while he was in Miami. That was peak LeBron. And he was getting hated on. And the justification was we don't care about the regular season. He has to do it in the playoffs. So, what happens when people are using that dishonest narrative for so long by the regular season? What happens? People stop caring about the regular season because it became a referendum on LeBron, where he couldn't do anything good in the regular season that he get credit for. It was just, oh, that's nice. Oh, well, it's big numbers. Okay, well, do the playoff. That type of energy. So then let's fast forward about a decade. James Harden, Russell Westbrook. James Harden was putting up numbers that made him statistically one of the best scorers of all time. You had people say he's a better scorer than Jordan. But was he crowned that? Was he celebrated? Nah, because he didn't win. It was, again, the regular season. It doesn't really matter. That's not real basketball. What have you done in the playoffs? And not even what have you done in the playoffs? What have you done in your last losing series? That's what you're judged on. Or even if you're LeBron, you get all the way to the finals, and then you lose in the finals. You're judged on that finals loss and not the rest of the season. It is what it is, right? That's the rules of the game. That's the way it is. Okay. Russell Westbrook averaged a triple double for a season. Me coming up, child of the '80s. I had old uncles used to read all their old sports trivia books, and that Oscar Robinson triple double season was always a magical thing. I used to just be blown away. Jordan was my goat. Uh, I had a respect for Kareem, but in my mind, Big O was up there because he put up a triple double. I didn't watch him play, but for me that felt substantial. I was like, man, we'll never see that again. Until we saw that again, and was it celebrated? No, he got MVP out of it, but that was a battle for the MVP. People were not happy about giving him the MVP. It was just the only really option because what he was doing was just ridiculous, and he had the anti-KD narrative on behind him. So that was the last time he got the benefit of being not KD. Ever since then, it's been uh, Russell Westbrook slander. So again, LeBron James accomplishments need to be diminished. So the regular season has to go. James Harden numbers need to be explained. He's not really that good. He can't be that good. These are empty numbers. This regular season. Westbrook, same thing. Stat chaser. Blah 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 blah. All type of stuff. Right? Can't win. I think you can see where I'm going with this right now. After you've salted the earth and just killed the sports discourse because you're so hell bent on diminishing people, you then can't go back and crown someone like Jokic as some generational player. And he ain't been in the finals yet. He's not dominating like that. He's dominating the stat sheet. But can you really be honest right now and tell me that the eye test is matching the box score stats? I don't think it is. But people don't want to say that because it sounds ridiculous. It sounds like, oh my God, like I don't be called a casual for saying that, but like that's the cold-hearted truth. And as you ask these people, a Bomani, uh, I heard Zach Lowe the past couple of days, um, who are obviously big on Jokic again, and rightfully so, right? These people are, but they do this implied thing that he's like somehow slept on. He's not being celebrated enough. But when you ask them where they would take Jokic and amongst those players, he's like top three. 10 out of 10 people will tell you they'll take Giannis over Jokic right now. No questions asked. Boom. I would say 4 out of 5 people would say Embiid is better than Jokic. Or not better, but they would take him over him, right? And it's just one game, but you saw it when they went head to head. It was clear who the better, more impactful player was. And you didn't need some stat sheet. So what I see with Jokic right now is people are uncomfortable because the eye test is not matching up with what they're saying in the box score. And people's hands are tied because they spent the last 2 decades giving off these bad faith takes and arguments to diminish LeBron. And you can't take those back now because you already made those arguments. And it's actually kind of crazy because, like, it's really hard to have a discussion about sports that doesn't somehow get back to LeBron because the LeBron discourse has killed sports talk radio. It's broken it. Because again, all these little weasels who are taking stuff, the Stu Gatz, I love Stu Gatz, right? Because Stu Gatz is the caricature of this sports jockey, right? But it's this oh wow, it's amazing. Do it in the NBA. Oh wow, it's amazing. He's just killing the NBA. Do it in the playoffs. Oh wow, it's amazing in the playoffs. Do it in the finals. I did in the finals. Okay, do it again. Do it again. It's not 6. And so you just think about where all these people have gone and how far they've pushed out this hate. That you got people in year 20 still acting like the jury is out on LeBron and we don't know what he is yet. You got people still skeptical of a guy in year 20 who just became the NBA's all-time leading point scorer. And people are still acting like, I don't know about this LeBron guy. I don't know. Can he get the 6? And it's like it just at some point it becomes ridiculous. And now you got the chickens coming home to roost right now because those same people are desperate to build up Luka and Jokic and praise them for what they're doing. And what they're doing is incredible. I don't want to get that misconstrued. What they're doing is amazing. But you got to be consistent. You can on one hand praise Luca and call him a generational talent and all that type of stuff, when 5 years ago you was talking bad about James Harden and said you can't win playing that style of basketball. His usage rate is too high. He don't play no defense. He's a ball hog. He just shuts up threes the whole time. Who am I talking about right now? Am I talking about Luka or talking about James Harden? They have an almost identical play style. A heliocentric, extremely ball dominant ball stopper. When Luka passes the ball, what does he do? Does he cut? Is he a screener? No, he's at West Westbrook. He passes the ball, go stand in the corner while he rests. But that's not nitpicked, is it? No, it's because you can't. We have all the tapes. We've heard all the bad takes. And now you're boxed in because you went so far trying to diminish this guy and that guy and this guy that you took up all the possible arguments for your guy, whoever that guy is. So no, I'm sorry, man. I'm not buying this Jokic stuff. He's not underrated. He's not slept on. Uh, if you want to call him an MVP, I got no issue with that because it's an argument and it's a great argument for Jokic's MVP. But we need to stop with this idea that he's somehow getting slept on because that's just going way too far at this point. He's not getting slept on. You are just having to come to grips with your own bad takes and narratives, and now you can't undo them.